Paul, give us your credentials, tell us who you are, etc., and let's proceed along with this thing.
Okay, my name is Paul Levine. I am a commercial realtor. I am with LS Property Partners, LLC. And beside being a commercial realtor, we also give excellent tax advice. My background is that I was a practicing certified public accountant for over 50 years before I got into real estate. I have more income tax, education, knowledge, experience, creativity, and expertise than anyone else doing what I do. I was also a university professor for 6.5 years, and I teach my clients what they have to know because they are going to make informed decisions. I'm going to talk today about cost segregation studies, and I've done podcasts about cost seg before, but I want to wrap it up into a nice ball for you and also explain certain things that I may not have before. When you buy, to use an example, an apartment building, you are buying three things. You are buying the land, which is not going anyplace and doesn't get depreciated. You are buying the structure, the floors, the ceiling, the walls, and that gets depreciated according to the Internal Revenue Code over 27.5 years. Then you are buying the appliances in the kitchen, the oven, the microwave, the dishwasher. You are buying the kitchen cabinets, the countertops. You're buying all that. You're buying the doors that can just come off very easily. And anything that you can take out of that structure without destroying that structure is called tangible personal property. And that tangible personal property is normally just depreciated over 5, 7.5, or 15 years. And that's a lot shorter than 27.5 years. So, and also the 27.5 years gets taken out by what's known as straight line depreciation, where you take the same amount every year. But when you get to the tangible personal property, and that stuff is depreciated over a shorter period of time, you can also depreciate it over what's known as, or by using what's known as accelerated methods of depreciation, like double declining balance, or a very esoteric one called sum of the year's digits. And also, there is currently, according to the CARE Act, something that we have now called bonus depreciation. Bonus depreciation has been in effect for a while, and it is being phased out as we speak. So if you bought something before 12/31/22, you were able to take 100% of the value of the assets or the cost of the assets up to $1 million in 1 year. If when you go on to 2023, where we are now, you can only take 80%. And when the calendar changes to January 2024, it will be 60%, and it will go down 20% a year until it's gone. But I'm 77 years old. I've been doing this for a very long time. And I can tell you that the government will come up with something. I don't care what it's called. It could be Mickey Mouse depreciation for all I care. But they'll come up with something, because if they take away this incentive, the people who build apartment buildings or commercial real estate and the people that buy them or rent them are going to slow down drastically. And the interest rates aren't helping right now. So if the interest rates are high and the government is taking away one of the big advantages, we're in for a depression. And the Democrats can't do that right now. So something will come in to replace it. And trust me, it'll be there. We can talk about it when it comes in. So what you do is you take this big lump of depreciation when you buy the building. And what does that do for you? Well, you are deferring the tax on that depreciation on that deduction for 5, 7.5, or 15 years. And you have cash flow up front like you never thought you could have, because you don't have to pay any income tax. So if you have that cash flow, you can restructure the deal. You could buy more. You could have less of a mortgage. You could go to Hawaii for all I care. But the thing is that you're going to have cash flow, and you're going to be able to make decisions that you couldn't have made otherwise. And now we're going to talk about your own business, because you either rent or buy a building to put your business in, and cost segregation studies are good for those as well. Don't just think of a cost seg when you buy a building or an apartment building or condos or whatever to rent out, or an office building. Think of it for anything you use, because cost segregation works anywhere. Bob?
Here's a good question for you. How many people, in your experience, I mean, it's off the cuff, but how many people understand what we're talking about?
Unfortunately, not nearly enough. Because you are my city, and I've been using my city contacts to call CPAs and people in business and offer our services to them, I'm finding out that lots of people have no clue about this. Or the shame of it is that when you have a CPA that doesn't know it, he doesn't necessarily want to say to his client that he doesn't know it, or that he doesn't know how it benefits them. So he just goes, it's not for you. And that's happened a number of times for clients that we now have. So unfortunately, the answer is way too few.
So this is a big deal.
Yeah, this
a
is
big deal.
You change the whole structure of the deal if you could save $50,000 in taxes. I mean, it's huge. And just think, if you have 100-unit apartment building, of all of the things that you have in there, that the washer and dryer, the microwave ovens, the regular ranging ovens, the doors, the security system, everything. And you could take all of that depreciation up to 60% next year in 1 year. Huge.
And so basically what you're saying, this is an unknown, understated, unrecognized opportunity that the typical buyer or seller wants to know about.
They have to know about, not wants to. They have to, because it's the example I give is, if you're going to buy a car, you know everything about that make, you know everything about that model, you know oodles of stuff, and you're going to spend maybe $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 for that car. But when you go into purchase commercial real estate and your accountant doesn't know this, you're going to buy something maybe worth $1 million and not know what you have to know. It's criminal.
Another way put, this is a lost opportunity.
This is a huge opportunity that's lost, and it's going to come back, because the government, as I said before, cannot stop this. You know, with the high interest rates and slowing down bonus depreciation, it's a real problem. And going into an election year.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, Paul spoke at one of my networking groups on two of my networking groups on Friday. And I think he mesmerized everybody. Their eyeballs are rolling around in their head, beginning to realize that this is something they need to investigate and learn about.
And I've had a couple of calls already.
Is that right? Oh, I love it. I love it. That call was on Friday.
So let me give my telephone number and email address.
Okay.
Again, my name is Paul Levine, spelled L-E-V as in Victor, I-N-E. My telephone number is 818-298-4666. 4,000. Make it as easy as I can. But my email address is a little more complicated. It is plevine at LS, Larry Sam, Property Partners, LLC.com. That was plevine at LS Property Partners, LLC.com.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
We try.
Well, you know what? I think what we really need to talk about is how can you help people? Well, you know, the way you're going to help them is doing exactly what we're doing here.
Yeah, we have to get the word out, and we've done
Yep.
at least 2 other podcasts concerning this over time. People aren't doing it because they're not getting the information from their accountants or their commercial realtors, who should also know about this stuff.
Don't keep your, ladies and gentlemen, do not keep your head buried in the sand. You're talking about opportunity, and this opportunity, basically the government pays you.
And it's an opportunity to get into real estate. And the concept is earn money while you sleep.
There you go.
And with real estate, you can do that. The other expression we have that my partner, Fred Sams, loves is it's mailbox money.
Wait, well said. Well said. And by the way, people, my name is Bob Friedenthal. It's Friedenthal. On LinkedIn, I'm Bob and Karen, Caryn Friedenthal. You could reach me if you have any questions about Paul. You could reach me at area code 310-736-5787, or you can send me an email to bob@mycity.com. I'd love to talk to you about Paul. How many years have we known each other, Paul?
4 or 5.
At least.
Yeah.
At least. Yeah. Yeah. And this guy knows his stuff. You don't take 50 years of experience and not put it to use, especially.
It was, if I might add, it was 50 years of varied experience. I got the opportunity. I was 38 years old to sit on this side of the table with my client and have 4 gentlemen from this small company in Delaware by the name of DuPont, huge company, buy my client, and I negotiated the sale. That was fun. I testified as an expert witness. I valued businesses in divorce cases. I've done stuff that other people don't even dream of. And we have fun doing it, even in divorce cases. And we get things done. Because we don't only look at what everybody looks at every day. I want to know how to get things done. How to use the Internal Revenue Code, which was written to collect taxes for the benefit of my clients so that they don't have to pay a lot of taxes.
It's the bottom line. That's
Yep.
the absolute bottom line. Is
Everybody wants to save on their income taxes, and I'm here to tell you that there are ways. We may not be able to eliminate them totally. And anybody, I got to tell you something. I hear these ads where we go, don't pay any taxes. By the way, I hope you don't get offended. Bullshit. You can't do that. You can't do it legally, and you're going to get in trouble. And the IRS looks out for these things. So do something that's real, do something that looks sensible, and don't be too greedy, or else they're going to come after you. And I've seen it over and over again.
so right. So right. And Paul knows me. I was a director of accounting for a publicly traded company. You got to learn something along the way. So I didn't happen to get into the specifics, but I used to do taxes, all that stuff. I ran a tax resolution company for a while. And, all this stuff gives you insight as to where you got to drive your future. People today are hurting. They need to be doing something so that they can offset taxes, which is a huge opportunity. And it's It's totally legal.
And also, you don't need a lot of money to do this. I've got a client who bought, they live in a condo. They bought their first rental unit about 2 years ago in a place called Palmdale, California. And now they're going to buy a second rental unit up in a place called Taft, California. And let me tell you something, it's a 3-unit building and they're going to buy it for $350,000. We're not talking millions. We're talking if you have a little nest egg, we can work something out for you.
That's it. That's it. Anyway, I think what we'll do is call this a wrap.
May I just give since I didn't give my information at the beginning, I only gave it, let me do it one more time.
You
My
got it.
name again is Paul Levine. My telephone number is 818-298-4000. And my email address is plevine@LS, Larry Sam, Property Partners LLC.com. And this was my pleasure.
And you know what? We got a couple months now before we get into the new year, and then we got to start all over again, right?
You betcha.
Yep. Paul, it's always a pleasure interviewing you. I like who you are, what you're doing. And if the people have any questions that watch this interview, want to call me, please give me a call. I'd love to talk about Paul. So, and there's more to come. A lot more to come.
Thank you, Bob. I appreciate the kind words.
You're quite welcome. It's a pleasure. Take care, all.
Bye.